Hello and welcome to the Gonzalez Mitchell Show. I'm Clay Mitchell.
And I'm Patrick Gonzalez.
And today we have a very special guest. We have Brooke Lierman. Ms. Lierman is a civil rights attorney. She formerly was a member of the Maryland House of Delegates, representing Baltimore's 46th district, and in November 2022, sworn in January of 23, she became the Comptroller of the state of Maryland and the first woman to be elected on her own to statewide office. Comptroller Lierman, we welcome you to the Gonzalez Mitchell Show.
It's great to be here. Thanks so much for having me. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Awesome.
Good afternoon, and it is great to have you.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Now, when you were first elected to the Comptroller's office, it was one of your pledges to modernize the office. I think the computer system probably dated back to
Louis.
the 1980s or something.
Mhm.
What's going on with that? And what improvements have you made?
God bless you all real good.
God bless you all real good indeed. You know what else used to say, Louis? He went around the state and he would talk about, proud, he would brag that he took the office of the comptroller from pencil and paper to the mainframe, which was a huge improvement. Well, now we got to improve again. So we are still on a mainframe. Our major applications, tax processing system, our general accounting system, they're still in COBOL, the old processing language. So when I first was sworn in January 2023, first I should say it's great to be here. When I was sworn in January 2023, we had a really robust transition team. We needed to assess where things were and learn and think about how we could do more, right? Really reimagine how the office of the comptroller could be an advocate for the people, the communities, and the businesses in Maryland. And we adopted a new vision for the agency to be a partner, to work in partnership, to create a state that's more equitable, more resilient, and more prosperous so that every Marylander could reach their full potential, And to do that, that's a big vision. We thought, well, we need some priorities. And our number one priority, our core priorities, is to make government work better. And a huge piece of that is modernizing our systems. So we are working, I mentioned before our tax processing system. It's one of the oldest in the nation right now. We are really pleased that we have moved out of our old system for business taxes into a new system called Maryland Tax Connect. So all our business taxes now are in this new system where businesses have, they register, they have their username and password, they can go in, they see all their interactions, just like if it was a bank, they can see in and out, they can see what we're doing. We're giving them an unprecedented level of information about what's going on in their world with taxes and what we're doing too. Now we are working to build that out for the personal side. We're also really excited on the tax front. I know that sounds weird, but you shouldn't be in this job if you don't get excited about how to make things work better, even taxes. We are partnering with the IRS to offer an amazing new product for Marylanders called Direct File. So this will be available this coming January in 2025. Direct File will allow, we believe, an estimated around 870,000 Marylanders to file their state and federal tax returns online for free in one system, one very secure system. So Direct File will offer an alternative to some of the programs, privately run programs like a TurboTax, or to even paying a professional, or to going to need, if you have just a W-2, you won't need to go to a VITA site perhaps, because you can do it now more simply on your own. This won't serve everybody, so we're really pleased to continue to partner with groups like the Cash Campaign and all of our VITA programs, which are volunteer, income tax assistance programs. But we're really excited about direct file because I think it will be a game changer for just so many Marylanders, and it's just going to grow. It's available for this, about not quite 1 million Marylanders this year, and we hope that it continues to grow so that next year we can make it, in 2026, we can make it even bigger. So that's sort of the tax piece. I'll tell you, the modernization, though, it's needed everywhere. Some of the first contracts I signed when I came in were about boosting our cybersecurity, making sure that we are being smart and secure about all of the information that we have. And really excited to announce that we will be releasing a new website early next year. Our website is old, outdated, doesn't serve the functions that it needs to. So we're really excited to be moving into a new platform that will have a constituent relationship management system, so that people will be able to, if they need help, they can call, they can email, but now they can just grab a ticket and follow it and see how it progresses. So we're really thinking about how to make government work better. You don't just modernize for modernization's sake, right? You do it to work better. So that is really what we're focused on, and I'm excited about it.
That sounds
Congratulate
great.
you and the rest of your team, because I know when I used to work in the Department of Labor, changing systems from the 1980 COBOL system
Yeah.
to the new system is full of peril and full of heartache. And I don't think the public in general understands how much it takes
So
to
much.
actually take the battleship
Yeah.
and point it in a new direction. Patrick,
Yeah.
you were going to say something?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I will just say, like, so much of what we're doing, we have to totally retrain our entire team, right? They've been using the same system for so long, and it's a clunky, old, not great system that's going to fail, but they know it, right? So, and it's not just, we're changing our processes, how we compute things. So it's a lot of change management. Yep.
There's always that resistance to change. And I congratulate you for getting as
Thanks.
far as you have so far. Patrick, you were going to say something?
No, I'm sort of in a listen and learn mode, and I'm fascinated. And I think it's great because I am, and I know I look like a teenager, but I'm one of those old guys, and technology it's I won't say it's intimidating. It irritates me. I am an impatient human being. I want things to work immediately. I want to understand things immediately. And when you change, though, and you got to change, Brooke, because as you just described, a system that's 30, it's a different world. I totally love that. Even recognizing that I recently, with my business filings and stuff, have gotten totally confused. But that's going to be up to me to go ahead and learn the new systems. But I just think it's wonderful, and I'm fascinated to learn about it.
Well, thanks. I will tell you, Patrick, though, I think that, you're not alone, and we've learned a lot, from the release of Maryland Tax Connect for businesses. We realized we needed to do more. We were really focused on making sure our team understood how to do it. And we need to also be equally as focused on making sure that we're training the public, right? Training users. And so we stood up a call center and started doing webinars as soon as we realized that, this wasn't intuitive for everybody. Like, some people got it right away, but a lot of people didn't. So we did 2 webinars a week. We stood up a call center. So still to this day, if you're having trouble with Maryland Tax Connect, you can go to the website, click on a button, and you can make an appointment with somebody to do a video call or a call, and they'll walk you through the whole system. And we're going to try to do, what we want to do is do more of that, do more education of the population that we serve, so that it feels less like ripping off a Band-Aid, right? We want to make it a little less painful for everyone.
And I like it that you could do the video call and have that capability, because people that have the technology to be able to do it, that, businesses and taxpayers, you get to talk to a live person without having to make an appointment, get into the car, go down the road, find parking spaces, and
Right.
get in to
We
talk
can
to
just do a
somebody.
phone call. Yeah.
It is way more efficient, and I think it's helpful when you get to put a face to a face instead of just over
It's
the
good to be able to
telephone.
talk to people. Yeah.
Right. They're putting up you have revenue estimates. I know that you had a revenue estimate come out a month or so ago, and another one's coming up in December.
Yep.
How's the state doing?
Yeah, the state's doing fine, but we want to be doing great, right? So we have a strong economy. We have the highest median income in the country. We have an incredibly low unemployment rate, all really good things. And I realized at my very first Board of Revenue Estimates meeting in March of 2023 that despite all of this, our revenues, our economy just didn't seem, our GDP wasn't growing, our revenues were not growing at the same rate as some of our neighboring states. So we then undertook sort of a 9-month review of our economy. We talked to business leaders, we had roundtables, we did hundreds of discussions around the state. I called someone at the Fed and talked to them and said, what should we do? And they said, go out, talk to people. Like, it's really important to get out of the office. And so that's what we did. And then we crunched our own numbers and released a report this past January for the first time ever in that we found in the comptroller's office, released a report on the state of Maryland's economy. And this report really set the stage for a lot of, I think, how we're understanding what's happening in our economy now, that we have a lower labor force participation rate than we used to, which means we just don't have as many people working, and we need more people in the workforce so that our economy can grow. And we're very dependent on our income tax as a source of revenue. And so if we're not growing our workforce, then we're not growing our revenues. And so our revenues are steady, but we want them to be increasing at a faster clip because that means people are doing better, right? I remind audiences, like, as the state revenue administrator, when you do better, we do better, right? So this is something that we keep in mind. We have our next revenue estimates meeting in December. And for folks who don't know, I chair the Board of Revenue Estimates. The Bureau of Revenue Estimates is within our agency. And that board, the Board of Revenue Estimates, we adopt our revenue estimate in December, and then the governor and the General Assembly build a budget that is based on that estimate. We then in March will do an updated estimate so that they can fine tune the budget before it passes. But that estimate really undergirds our entire state budget. And so we take it really seriously. We have a great team and look forward to continuing to work with them. We had a slight upward shift in our September meeting, which was a good sign. So we're hoping that continues.
Now, I know the comptroller is one of 3 that sits on the Board of Public Works. It's you, Treasurer Davis, and Governor Moore.
Yep.
To create a better business environment and economic environment in the state, what does the Board of Public Works do to assist with that, for those that don't know?
Sure. So the Board of Public Works is a really interesting creation. No other state government has a board like this that I've found. And as you said, it's 3 people: the governor, the treasurer, and the comptroller. And the comptroller is really there. I'm there to be an independent voice of the people, right? The folks who are bringing the contracts to us are the agencies, and the governor appoints the secretaries. The treasurer is appointed by the General Assembly, elected by all the members. And so he really works with the General Assembly and represents them. So I represent the people of Maryland independently. That's my goal. And our task is to review nearly every contract that the state enters into over $200,000. We also have wetlands licenses and capital grants and loans to nonprofits across the state and more. We approve or deny we consider about $400 million in contracts a month. On average. So, it's important that people understand, like, I think this is a great tool and a great government agency, because it just provides a level of transparency in spending that no other state has. So you can watch us on YouTube, basically every other Wednesday at 10 a.m. Consider contracts and go through them. All the documents are available online. You can testify online if you want to testify against or for some spending that we're doing. So, we really do try to make it accessible and transparent. And, we're focused on quite a bit, but, two things that I'm really focused on, and I believe that my counterparts are as well, is making sure that we're being mindful when we are approving these procurements, right? When we're looking at these state contracts, we're one, working to build a more resilient and diverse economy. So that means making sure that we are meeting or exceeding our state's minority business enterprise goal. That is a 29% goal for subcontracting. This is a program that's been in place for many years. We've never met the 29% goal, but we are moving in the right direction now. We're moving up, which is good. And this is so important because it ensures that we're building a more diverse economy. It's helping to get out this, historical challenges in business ownership. Business ownership is one way to help close some of the racial wealth gap. So the MBE program is really important to me. One other item that's really important to me is building a more climate resilient state. So, I don't want to fund a school or a hospital that's being built in a floodplain, right? Then you just have to go back and retrofit. We've got to make sure that our buildings are being built smart, that they are climate resilient, and that our money is not going to last 4 years. It's going to last for decades. So I've been working with, the agencies to talk with them about how to make sure that they're following the mandates from Climate Solutions Now, a bill that we passed several years ago, and just keeping these resilience issues in mind. So we have a lot of strong conversations with our agency counterparts in between meetings to make sure that they hear us and understand us. And then sometimes I have strong words at meetings too, but I don't think the meetings should be about political theater. I think they should be about getting things done.
And I think what's unique about the Board of Public Works too, and thank goodness Maryland has it, is it's a watchdog. You award the contracts, but you can also call them back in and hold them accountable. How are you spending this money? Why are you coming back for more? And correct me if I'm wrong, in areas where revenues are down, say during a recession, you have the authority with the other two to cut.
We can cut the budget as well. Exactly. And we needed to do that this summer, to free up some money for our Medicaid and for our child care scholarship program that were both oversubscribed from what had been estimated. So, absolutely.
And anybody that goes before the Board of Public Works knows it's not a rubber stamp. There's 3 individuals up there, and you got to be ready. You got to have the answers ready. And there's an assumption that all 3 of you agree all the time. That's not the case. And the watchdog aspect of that, I think, is very, very important. And we commend you for your work on that.
Thanks.
Patrick, what do you got?
Well, the only thing that I want to convey to the comptroller is the circles that I travel in. Now, there aren't many circles that will let me in, but the few that will, the people in those circles think Brooke Lierman is doing a wonderful job as comptroller, and nice. I wanted to convey that to her.
Well, thank you. I don't know what those circles are, but I appreciate it from wherever it comes. We're working hard. I think we have a really good team, and we're really focused on getting things done for Marylanders. We know we're not a perfect agency. I'm never going to be defensive about that. We know there's work to do, but I do think that we have a good team in place, and we're really serious about getting things done. So thanks very much, Patrick. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Madam Comptroller, we enjoyed having you here. We're glad you joined us. I hope sometime during session, maybe you'll come back on and give us sort of an update on what's going on and any good news or bad news you want to share with us. We'd love to have you back on and share your thoughts with us.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Happy to do it. And I encourage folks, another new creation of ours is we started a newsletter, a monthly newsletter from the agency. So you can go to our website, marylandtaxes.gov, and sign up for our newsletter there. And you can also find our research reports, like the State of the Economy report that I mentioned, at marylandtaxes.gov/research. So thanks so much for having me. Thanks for doing this work and for bringing information to people, and keep in touch.
And Brooke, before we go, it's time to say goodbye, Patrick. So if you could tell Patrick goodbye.
Bye, Patrick. Thank you.
Patrick?
Goodbye. Goodbye, Patrick.
Oh, see what I deal with.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Madam Comptroller. We appreciate it.
Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.